Hey everyone, so glad that you could be here with us today. For those of you who do not recognize my face, I'm Royal, and I have with me today Leah and Nell, and together the three of us make up the Isle of Wight Victim Witness Team. We're really excited to be here with you guys because this week is National Crime Victims' Rights Week, which is an awesome awareness week that is put together by the Office for Victims of Crime that really brings awareness to crime victims' rights and the things that crime victims have access to, right? The resources and sort of the criminal justice process. That way we can educate people. And so part of the Crime Victims' Rights Week is, with awareness, one of the national organizations called NOVA, which is the National Organization for Victim Assistance, they host a variety of events throughout the week. But one of the really cool things that they're doing today is their hashtag Why We Advocate Day. So we're really excited because we wanted to do this video to introduce ourselves to those of you who might not know us, or even if you do know us, learn a little bit more about what we do and why we do what we do. So if you guys have any questions throughout this, feel free to drop a comment, send us a message. We are really open and excited to talk with you guys about what we do and everything that Victim Services has to offer. So I'm going to have both ladies introduce themselves, kind of say a little bit what they do on the team and how long they've been in the position. And then I've got a few questions that we're going to answer, but really it's just for us to talk about, who we are and what we do. So Leah, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and tell everybody a little bit about who you are.
Hi, I'm Leah Hampton-Bilal. I'm the director of Isle of Wight Victim Witness. This upcoming July will be 7 years that I've been in this position. Prior to that, I was 10 years at the Hampton Victim Witness Department. So total in Virginia, I've been doing victim advocacy for 17 years. And prior to that, I was in California doing a form of victim advocacy, and that was for 8 years.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And Mel, do you want to go ahead and tell us a little bit about what you do on the team and how long you've been in the position?
Yes, my name is Nell Sear, and I am the VSTOP coordinator, which breaks down into verbiage of the domestic violence and sexual assault victims advocate for the department. And I have been in that position almost 6 years. And so that is my role.
Awesome. And so I'm really excited, to be here with both of these ladies because I am one of the newest addition actually to the Victim Witness team. I'm not the newest in the Commonwealth Attorney's Office. However, I have only been in this position since June of 2018. So we're coming up on 2 years. But before that, I was a undergraduate student at CNU. So I have my bachelor's, and I also previously worked with refugees, so my degree is in sociology. So even though I have been in the victim services field for very long, I've been in the human services field for a little bit, and I have that educational background. So we're all, like I said, keep saying we're all so excited, and the main reason why I keep saying that is just because Crime Victims' Rights Week is the week that we really get the chance to, show everybody, show the nation, the world, really what victim services is and why we do what we do. So Nell, why don't you go ahead and tell a little bit of everybody kind of why you got involved in victim services?
Okay, well, I had worked at the Department of Social Services for 42 years and retired. And a couple of years after that, this position became available and someone had told me about it. And when I looked into what the job consisted of, I thought it sounded like something that I would really enjoy and frankly that I'd be really good at because I had worked with people who are having a difficult time in life through social services for many years. And these are victims now that I work with who are really going through some of the most difficult times in their lives. And I just felt like it would be a good opportunity to keep serving in the community. So I applied for the position and was chosen to come to work there at the Commonwealth Attorney's Office.
Awesome. And definitely, that's one of the things, when we talk about Nell, we talk about how much she knows within the community. Leah and I both can attest to how many times that we've gone and we're like, hey, if we want to do this, who do we talk to, or how do we get that done? And Nell's been an awesome resource for information. So for me, and, both Leah and, Nell touched on kind of how they've, been in victim services for so long, but I had definitely, been looking for something to do with my degree after graduating. And I had found the position kind of like, Nell said, popped up, and I was like, I can do this. And even though I'm not from the county, I'd actually, been getting my hair cut in the county for a very long time. So I knew where Isle of Wight was. I, knew where to go, things like that. And it ended up being something that I didn't expect to stay in very long. But here I am, 2 years in and loving it every day of it, and, wanting to continue in the field. So it's been really awesome to learn from both Leah and Nell and everybody else kind of in the region or any other trainings and things like that. So Leah, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit, about why you got involved in victim services?
I don't think it was anything necessarily planned, although I remember as a little girl, I wanted to be a social worker. But after I got out of the Navy, where I was working in aviation, I took a Myers-Briggs test to see where my interest would lie. And everything was going towards the social service arena. And I had gone to paralegal school, gotten my paralegal certificate, and they had a position open in the district attorney's office, which is equivalent to the Commonwealth attorney in California. And it was in parental kidnapping. So I dealt with victims, the left behind parent, and loved it, moved here and worked in social service for a very short time, and a victim witness position came open in Hampton, and I applied for it. And I do like working with people. I found that out, that I do really like working with people and helping in any way that I can. So, and definitely in this type of field where someone has been victimized, they need somebody to, if nothing else, just kind of hold their hand, so to speak. So I enjoy doing this. Clearly.
Awesome. Right? It's both
Right.
been it for so long. And that's, one of the things too, when we talk about why we're advocates and why we do what, we do, you kind of mentioned it, a lot of times people don't necessarily plan on going in, to this field. I found even in my just short experience, victim services is one of those services where people aren't necessarily going to know about it until they need to use it, because we hope that, people won't need our services, because that means that they're not experiencing crime, they're not being victimized. So we know that it does happen. And so, for me, like when I talk about, why I am an advocate and why I enjoy it and why I've stayed, even beyond, just coming and working for a few months and then going somewhere else. Not only has it been because of the team, right? Because it's highly collaborative. We work with law enforcement and counselors and other advocates and, attorneys and doctors. And so it's really awesome, to see a community of people from different disciplines coming together. But it's also, like, you said, kind of holding their hand and like walking them through the system, because like there were a lot of things that I didn't know, prior to working in the court system, because the only time that I'd been to court was to get my driver's license. So, for a lot of people, if they've never been through the system, then they're not going to know about it. Or even if they have been through the system before, for various different reasons, it's still important to have victim services, because things change, and then we can be there to walk with people through that experience. So Leah, you kind of touched a little bit on it, about why you're an advocate, but is there any other reason, kind of really big reason why you are an advocate and do what you do?
Just knowing, I mean, I'm trying to give another example so people can kind of understand. Let's just say you're going through a medical procedure, and if there was nobody there to explain anything to you, just the doctors in the medical terminology that you might not understand. It's almost the same type of thing if you're a victim of a crime. You've been victimized in some traumatic way. The lawyers are trying to explain things to you that make sense, but sometimes it doesn't make sense, or sometimes you just need someone to just kind of really break it down and just sit there with you, because the lawyers are the prosecutors are doing their job, the police are doing their job, and it's almost like, hey, who's here for me? Who's here to make sure I'm okay? So once I got into it, I really saw the need for it and stuck with it. I'm very transparent with my victims, so sometimes we have to tell them things that they may not want to hear as to how the case may be going, but I think it's very important to just be completely transparent and always honest with them. So, and they do appreciate that. Do you find that too now, that your victims
Absolutely,
would?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right. And, Nell, you kind of, mentioned a little bit about, your background in social services for so many years. So, and you kind of mentioned a little bit about how, the work seems similar. And so when you, decided to become an advocate, why have you chosen to stay, right, for so long? Because like I said, we could come in and do this job for a little bit and decide it's something that, we didn't want to do and then go somewhere else. But, even though you're retired, you've stayed in this position for, 6 years. So, why, if you haven't already mentioned it, or, even if you just kind of want to elaborate a little bit more on anything else that you've said, why are you an advocate?
Well, I think I started with the job not really understanding the depth of the position. But when you do realize that you're basically standing in the gap with your victims between law enforcement and the Commonwealth Attorney's Office, being the prosecutorial agency that we deal with, you realize that that person, you're doing such a service. They don't understand the jargon, as Leah was talking about a little earlier. You have to a lot of times explain to them where things are with their case, because once law enforcement has gathered all the evidence, that's their job once a crime has occurred, and to make sure that they have dotted every I and crossed every T before they present the case to the Commonwealth. Well, once the Commonwealth gets the case, they're reviewing that case to make sure that they have everything that they need to prosecute it and it's under the right statute, and they're looking at guidelines for sentencing and what are my options so far as pleading, the defendant pleading guilty, not guilty. The victim is sort of left out of that loop. And it really does give them some peace of mind to know that we're there. They can call, they can text, they can email. We can keep them up with what is going on cases. We're not a service agency in the sense that we provide counseling or other services. We literally are the go-between for the victim and everything else that they need. So we can refer them out for counseling to our community partners, the Geneve Shelter, the Center for Sexual Assault Survivors. And we also have an opportunity to help them in other ways that you would never even think, down to even sometimes hitting up our community resource people that we know for Christmas, for children whose parents may be incarcerated because of domestic violence or some other reason. So it really is very rewarding when we get to the other side and we get to see that person's life improve. And sometimes it takes years. And in 6 years now, there are people that I worked with when I came there the first year that I still have random contact with for some reason or another. And it's always wonderful to see that, you have helped someone get into a better position in life than what they were when you met them during pretty much their darkest hours sometimes.
Most definitely. And I think we can all agree that that's one of those things, like we're all nodding about, with everything that Noah's saying about, even if it's obviously, anybody that I've worked with, it hasn't been so long since, their case is closed. But even then, you kind of mentioned it now, once the case is closed, it doesn't mean that we're just going to stop talking to people. It means that it's going to be a, hey, how are you? Or, it's not that they can't call us and ask, for more services, or, even though the court case might be closed, we might not be able to, talk with them, about what is happening with the court case because it's not happening anymore. But we can still talk with them about how they are physically doing, emotionally and mentally as well. And, check in with them and then provide them with some resources and additional, things that they might need. It's really providing that support, and I'm sure, Leah's run into people, that she has previously worked with, or, and it's even too, right, it goes back to that collaboration, right? Because, sometimes, there will be people who will need services in, if the crime happens in Isle of Wight, but they live, in Hampton or in Portsmouth or Newport News. We're still working with advocates in the other jurisdictions to say, hey, what do you guys actually, have available for these, for these clients of ours, for these victims? What can we do? What direction can we point them in?
And definitely we have to let our victims know that, one, we're not attorneys. We can't give legal advice. We're not licensed counselors. But sometimes, I know you all have had that happen, where you'll have someone call and they just want to talk, be it vent, be it just just talk. And we definitely listen. And obviously not in a counselor role, but we're definitely there to listen and refer out, or just, I think sometimes just having someone know that they have someone there that's going to listen to them, and just kind of hear them out. So it's key.
Most
Very key.
definitely. Gotcha. So, what, then either or both, Leah, I know you guys can answer this, but, if there's anything that you haven't already said about victim services, what is it that you want people to know? I kind of know that we've touched on, that we're not attorneys and we're not counselors, but, we work with a lot of different people, and even though, it might seem like we're confined just to the court system, we can still reach out and we can still, try to do some other things. But, is there anything, else about victim services that you guys really want people to know?
Well, I think just the fact I can speak for this department, which is wonderful. We really do care. It's not that we just have a job. We have a task to do, yes, but we also have an emotional attachment to our victims because we are here to try to help you. And we can't often fix it. Sometimes there's nothing we can do. Sometimes there are no resources available, but at least we are honest and upfront with you to tell you what we can and what we can't do. And we have a wonderful relationship with law enforcement and with the staff at the Commonwealth Attorney's Office, which is a wonderful place for us to be as the go-between. So we are not just occupying a desk, and we don't just have a job. We have a task to do. We have a role to fill that's very important, and we don't take it lightly. We take it very seriously because we do impact people's lives.
I think we're definitely empaths. It's all about the empathy, and I am going to camp onto what Nell said, because unfortunately I have heard of some jurisdictions that they don't have that great of a working relationship either with their Commonwealth Attorney's Office or with their police department. And there are a lot of independent cities in Virginia. There are a number of counties as well, but I know with our county, we have a couple of police departments, and it makes it very difficult if you don't have a great working relationship, because everyone's not on one accord, which victims will get different information from depending on who they call. Everyone knows in our county, call victim witness, here's their number, this is how they can assist you. So definitely, it definitely helps to have a team.
Most definitely. And I think that's one of the biggest thing is having that team and having those people that we know that we can contact, that we can, speak with and say, hey, this is the situation, this is what's going on, who would be the best person to chat with about that, right? And we're always very communicative with everybody. And, we do that because we hope that everybody else, gives us the same level of communication that we do. And we're all very fortunate that we work with law enforcement agencies and community partners that care about the communities, right? They don't just see it as, a job that they do, like Noah was saying, it's not just a job for us. Anybody who is in our office, in the Commonwealth Attorney's Office, social services, everybody, we're doing what we do because we love what we do. And, even if we didn't come into it thinking that this is what we were going to do, we've stayed because we enjoy working with everyone so much. So
I think, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. I was just going to ask if there was anything else. So you segued right into it, no?
One of the groups that we so often overlook that we work with very closely as well in helping our victims is the various courts, because we work with General District, Juvenile and Domestic Relations Court, and Circuit Court. And a lot of times our victims will have questions that are procedurally driven, or about documents. Can they get copies of various documents, and what do they need to move from point A to point B? And we have an excellent working relationship with our courts that we can pick the phone up, call, and they can give us the guidance that we can pass on to our victims as to their process, because most everything in the courts is procedurally driven. And of course, as Leah said, we have actually 4 law enforcement agencies with the Virginia State Police, the Isle of Wight Sheriff's Office, the Windsor Police Department, and the Smithfield Police Department that we work with. And I think we have established ourselves as the victim services unit to the point that they do reach out to us and we are comfortable reaching out to them as well and have a good working relationship with all of them.
And we have become more present in the county. People are seeing who we are. And fortunately, with the hiring of Royal as our community outreach, she has really pushed it out there and has boosted our social media platforms and is definitely keeping those up and being very informative on those platforms as well, because our county, we have the young and the older. So for those who don't like the social media, we've got
Nell.
and everybody
Look, I know
knows
how to
Nell.
send a letter. I know how to use
Everybody
mail.
knows
It wasn't.
Nell. But there's something for everyone, and I really do think that our presence is known. Smithfield Times actually did an article on us a couple of years ago, so we are out there. It's odd when someone asks for a business card though, because it's like, well, just like Roy, like you said, yeah, I don't want to give you my business card because if you have to call me, that means that you were probably a victim of a crime. And it feels weird sometimes saying nice meeting you to people. Well, they'll say it to me first. It was so nice meeting you. And I'm thinking, gosh, if you were not a victim, I wouldn't have met you. But under the circumstances, we have met some really nice people, and we've empowered them. I would like to believe that we've empowered them beyond their victimization.
Absolutely.
Most definitely.
They've moved from victim to survivor.
That's it. That's it.
We love that. We love when, people that we, when we've talked about this, check in with us and, later and say, hey, this is, what we're doing. And, I got married, or, I had kids, or, I finished school, things like that. We love to hear those, positive stories about, when people go from, like Nell said, victim to survivor, right? Like, it's that empowerment, it's moving beyond. We absolutely love that. So, that's why we do things like this too, right? Like we try to interact with the community so much, because even if, you might not need our services, you might know somebody who might need them, or who might not necessarily be looking for a court case, but might be looking for some other community resources. Right. And we can help, find those resources, even if there is no court case, right? Like we can find somebody who can, talk with you. And even if there's not going to be a criminal court case, but, you are looking into something civil, like a protective order, or, you're looking into reaching out, to some attorneys and things like that. We have, a great relationship with so many people across the region and across the state, that it's always a good idea to at least kind of keep us in your back pocket of, maybe, hey, like I'm going to reach out because I think that this might be something that they can help us with. And, thank you guys for the praise about the social media and everything. And that's where we're putting a lot of our information too, especially right now, with being shut down. We're doing this video because we're in our homes working, because, court's closed for right now to, all non-emergency procedures. And so, for us, it's about making sure that we can get out and we can talk with everybody, even if that's virtually. So ladies, if you guys don't have anything else that you want to add, yes, no, maybe.
Just know that because I used to get a lot of phone calls, and I was wondering if I was being tested. It was really odd. I was getting a lot of phone calls from all over the country because they thought we were witness protection. And I would ask, how did you even get my phone number? But I never knew how they got my phone number. But it is important for people to know that, unfortunately, we're not witness protection. We cannot relocate people. That is not a function of victim witness. But I would like to say, and I know my team definitely will, my team does this, in that we are not the type that, oh, I'm sorry, we don't handle that. Because we know how frustrating it is, just on a personal level, to get to someone, a actual person, not an automated person on the phone, only to say, oh, this is the wrong department. We'll try to find a resource for the person. Yeah, we will definitely try to find a resource for people. So.
Most definitely. Nell, you have anything else you wanted to add, or?
I don't. I'm happy to be in the position. I'm happy to talk with anybody that wants to call and talk about what we do and how we do it and get any. We have brochures available. And as Leah said, we have our business cards and informational resources. If anybody is interested in learning further about us, please contact us.
And Royal, what platforms are we on?
So we are
Yes.
on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. So this video will be most definitely posted on all three mediums. And we do also have a blog as well, which we're very excited about. So if anybody is interested in writing, editing, or doing any social media, most definitely let us know. We are always looking to add people to that part of our team. And we also do, volunteer positions and internships. And, of course, right now, because we're not in the office, we can do planning for those. We might not actually be able to do anything physical with those positions, but we're always looking for people, the teachers. If you want us to come and do any classroom presentations, we are super open to doing that as well. Especially for any government teachers or history teachers or, sociology or human services, criminal justice, anything like that. Or, even if you don't teach any of those, but you still want us to come and talk, we will still come and talk. Which, speaking of doing some education, tonight at 7 p.m., the Isle of Wight Sheriff's Office's very own investigator Lacey is going to be teaming up with one of our really close partners, the Center for Sexual Assault Survivors, to do a virtual forum through Zoom to talk about internet crimes against children. So how to keep your children safe from internet predators, or what that process looks like, things like that. So we're very excited. We're going to be there tuning in. We really hope that you guys do too. So if you would like some more information, please go to the Center for Sexual Assault Survivors Facebook page. They have the Zoom link, the meeting ID, everything that you're going to need to know. If you do not have a computer, or you would really rather just listen on your phone rather than watching any video, you can get into the Zoom meeting just by phone. So you have to contact them for that information, but everything is on their Facebook page. So make sure you go to their Facebook page and find that information. So once again, we're really excited that we were able to do this with you guys, and we're so glad, that we're able to do some virtual things and adapt in this arena to COVID-19 and how we can interact with all of you. So like we said, if you have questions, get in touch with us. You can send us a private message on Facebook, comment on this video. You can also get in touch with us online on our website on the county. And I'll make sure that that's linked for everybody because our emails are up there too. So if nobody else has anything else to add, thank you guys again, for watching, and thank you again to Leah and Nell for being here with me and doing this video.
Thank you.
We're really excited.
Be safe, everyone.
Yes.
Most definitely, everyone. Be safe. Wash your hands. Wear your face mask when you go outside. And we'll talk to you guys later.
Take
Okay.
care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.